Hello, heroes. Thank you all for tuning in to episode number 19 of the Nexus podcast. As usual, I am your host, Adam Eastwood, and this week I am joined by two co-hosts. One who is our new regular, the lifestyle geek himself, Josh Williams.
Hello there. How's everyone doing tonight? I'm doing fantastic myself.
That's great to hear. And next is our guest host. You might know him from such places as our Twitch channel chat, the Blizzard and esport enthusiast, Ben Blazek. How's it going, Ben?
Good. How's everybody doing tonight?
We're doing pretty awesome. Well, thank you for coming on in kind of just short notice. We unfortunately don't have David tonight. He had to kind of do some work stuff, but I'd like to keep at least 3 hosts on here.
Absolutely.
So, Josh, what have you been doing in gaming this week? Heroes and whatnot?
Oh, gaming this week. Well, for the past almost 2 weeks has been nothing but Diablo Reaper of Souls. A little bit of Heroes. I played a little bit of Heroes yesterday or the day before with Garrett from StarCast and Angry Chicken. And we lost all the matches we played. I don't know why. Every time I'm in a match, I lose. My win-to-lose ratio is horrible. And I'm slowly getting back into Hearthstone. But other than that, Blizzard games. That's it.
Tons of Blizzard games.
Oh, yeah.
More and more coming out every single week, it feels. Staks, what have you been up to?
Tons and tons of Reaper of Souls. Like, I've put in anywhere between 50, 60 hours this week alone. Even kind of had my laptop at work with me when I was waiting on responses from developers. I'm like sitting there grinding out Nephilim rifts and caches, just absolutely ridiculous amounts of Reaper of Souls.
Oh man, me too. Reaper of Souls, don't kill me out there, has been taking up the majority of my time. I definitely get my Heroes of the Storm fix in. Every week I play the new heroes, so that way I have an idea of how each of them play. Get at least a couple quests done. Still working on my Nova, trying to get her to 300 takedowns, which it takes a lot because I don't like playing the same hero over and over, so I have to break it up a bit. Other than that, I kind of got the kick back into Hearthstone just a little. Kind of want to play it on the iPad now that they're releasing it on the iPad.
It's I may or may not have played it myself on the iPad, and it's pretty rad.
Yeah. It just seems like the perfect game for the iPad in terms of Blizzard. It lets you play and get game here, game there, and you're good to go. I want it so on lunch breaks at work, I have something to do.
Exactly.
But other than that, Reaper of Souls, like I said, Crusader. That's all I've been playing. I haven't touched a single other class in that game, which... I've all level 60s, and that's the only one I've been doing. So.
Oh, so you didn't Did you open Adventure mode yet, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the nerd that takes the day off of work to play Reaper of Souls all day.
You're not the only one.
I took 2 off myself.
Yeah, I couldn't take 2 because I have this coming week off.
See, I feel like I did a complete random thing with Reaper of Souls. When when Diablo 3 or Vanilla came out, I had a set plan and I stuck to it. And this one, I played it, my Witch Doctor to 70, and it was just kind of like, this isn't working. So instead of doing the Crusader, I went and did the Demon Hunter randomly from 0 up to 70, and then just been plowing through them all week and haven't even got a chance to touch the Crusader yet.
Oh, wow. Man,
this class.
It's an awesome class. But let's go ahead and get into the Heroes news. Not too much news this week, but a few big things. April 1st came and went, and as usual, we see... Blizzard had their April Fool's joke, so we had I'm not even going to say it, Pajamather.
Pajamather, yeah.
Pajamather.
It was like Abathur in pajamas.
Yes. Now, I thought it was kind of funny. They really went to great lengths to make it seem like it was going to be a whole new hero, new abilities, when really, now I see them putting this out as a skin.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, why not?
Yep. And everyone will buy it, and it'll be, the joke that, oh, look, April Fool's Day joke came to be once again. So.
It'd be hard for them not to. The amount of time that they put into all these April Fool's jokes. I remember when they first started doing it years ago during Burning Crusade with the whole Bard and the Molten Core jokes. Countless hours that were done on just Pajamather alone, not including all the other stuff they did, too.
Yeah, I mean the art assets and the, just the time to put together the blog post. It's and the gameplay footage. I mean, they even
Yeah.
I mean, that means it's in the game. It's in there.
Oh yeah.
It's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of when and how long Dustin Browder wants to tease everyone with it.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see funny skins. This is like the first skin that they kind of hinted at that they could do with Abathur, because that's been my big thing with Abathur is what are they going to do for skins with him? Like, it's not like everybody else where there's like very definitive ways they can go. With Abathur, it's been like I have no idea where to go, and at least this is a joke skin that they can subside, get everyone happy, and subside the crowds to who like playing him but want to play a new skin.
Did anyone ever see the movie Small Soldiers?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, seeing this skin, I don't know why. I don't remember what his name was. I don't know if it was Troblicon. It was that soldier, or not the soldier, but one of the monsters. And I kind of see them going in like one of those type of directions too, a little bit. It'd be a little bit quirky, but
yeah, no, definitely. It'd definitely be interesting. It'd be something I'm interested to see with what they do. And like you said, Small Soldiers, I love that movie. I think I still own it. I haven't seen it in years, but I definitely own it.
Nice.
This week we saw some balances as well, kind of getting off the pajama there. We saw some balance changes in the Haunted Mines. Josh, you want to kind of give everyone a quick rundown of what they did to change the mines a bit?
Yeah, they shortened the time committed to clearing the mines there. The skeletons now spawn in larger groups as the time goes on, so it's not dragging out the matches even longer. It continued to become more concentrated in each event, so the skeletons get closer, the groups get closer and closer, and the number of skeletons decrease, and subsequent can't say that word very well. Mine openings and the skulls are added to, and more skulls, and the skulls are added to the golem for rewards. Mm-hmm. So they basically made it so you're not, as the match goes on, you're not down in the mines as long collecting the skulls, because there was a lot of packs down there. I don't know if you guys realized that too. They had a lot of packs down there for you to collect those skulls from the skeletons.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ben, you've done a lot of kind of watching the streams. What are kind of from a viewing point, maybe an esport? As an esport, do you think this is something that was needed for it to move closer into the esport realm?
Actually, yes. I'm very, very much supportive of this change. One thing that I have been noticing a lot lately is a lot of people who play in stacks of 5 and they're going in as premates. If Haunted Mines comes up, they're telling their entire team, don't even focus on the underside of the mine. It's not worth it. Send one person down. We're going to get 3 skulls just to prevent them from getting a complete 100, because at 100, the golem gets an entire health boost. So when they get like the 2 or 3 skulls, it kind of denies them that extra health boost, and they just stay up on top, get camps, and they're pushing all their lanes and just trying to do as much damage as possible before those golems come up. And then when the golems come up, they're sitting there and stacking on top of them to take them down quickly. So I'm hoping that this kind of changes that a little bit, and we start to utilize both sides of the map more.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I mean, we're also seeing the base health of the golem be increased right off the bat by 37.5%. So the golem's going to be a little stronger right from the start. They're going to last a little bit longer. I know, especially late game, you're seeing a huge amount of people just burning down that golem way too quick. Even if it's 60, 70 skull golem, they're able to kill him way too quickly, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now the one thing was the scaling health of the golem was decreased from 750 to 700 per minute. I'm not even sure exactly what that means. Am I just off on the scaling health and how it affects per minute? Is that just it automatically goes down per minute, or?
I think because it's on a time limit, I believe, mm-hmm. And it seems like it would die slower that way, right? Decrease from 750 to 700 per minute.
Yeah, so it's wasting away a little bit.
Yeah, a lot less than it was before.
That definitely confused me a little bit. At something I would like to ask to kind of get the, kind of clear how the scaling affects per minute. I would assume it would be. Do they mean that's they're going to have less health throughout the game, like later in the game? Is that per minute of the game or per minute that it's alive? I find it a little confusing and muddled.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because it's hard to tell if it is, if it does slowly go down because you're killing it anyways. So that is a good point. Is it per minute of how long the match is or what?
Yeah, because what you're looking at is it's two completely different things. If it's per minute that it's alive and it's losing health, then it's actually a debuff. It's a buff because I don't know. Either way, I guess it's a debuff. I'm just confused on this whole per minute scaling health thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a debuff, but I see it change. That being as far as everything they've listed so far on this one change, that being something that they're definitely going to change at least several times over again. Because I mean, how many minutes actually does a golem stay up anyways?
Yeah.
It's not a real long period of time.
Like I said, that's why the only other thing I could think of was if, every minute the game is alive, they're getting automatic health bonuses. Words are hard tonight. I don't know why.
Yeah, they are.
Words hard.
The health bonus. So like in 10 minutes into the game, they now have 7,000 extra health. And it's not something that they've made clear before how that mechanic works. So it's interesting to kind of see a little bit behind the scenes as well. I think the other bonus that they kind of changed to it is that you now can see where the golem's going to be attacking down right from the start of the match. And I think that's going to change kind of the meta of the game a little bit, because you're going to be... I think people are going to start putting 3 people in the lane if they know that's where the golem's going to be coming down from the opponent, right from the start. So they're defending that lane a little stronger ahead of time. Do you guys think you see something like that happening, or you just see it as a way that they know which mobs, the neutral mobs, they're going to take out first, so they, either go with or against it depending on their strategy?
That neutral mob's a good point. I never thought of that, because I actually did that when I was playing. I had bribes, so I went and just got a mercenary camp, and it was that same lane that the golem was going down. So that does bring in that good strategic point for your team to utilize that. But I guess I never paid attention good enough, but I always thought that was in there anyways.
Well, before you had to, once you got your first golem, then you knew kind of where he was going as soon as you started to kind of come together. Now you'll just know right away. So I think it'll add a little more, I'm going to say the word strategery to where you're going to place your 3 lane and your 2 lane, or if you're going to maybe push for a 4 lane and try to push hard early against the lane that your golem's going to go down, so when he gets up, he takes down 1 and then goes even further.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of your favorite maps you've seen, because we do have a little bit of time to talk about it, do you think that like Haunted Mines before is probably my second or third? With changes like this where you're not going to be in the mines as much, it might bump up kind of above Cursed Hollow for me, because it's kind of, those two were kind of close in my mind. Do you guys see this changing your thoughts on the map overall?
I don't, for mine at least. I still rank Cursed Hollow number 1 for me personally, and Blackheart's Bay number 2, and then Haunted Mines number 3. Until we really start to see more people get into the alpha and in the beta stage, and the map adjust a little bit more to where it's going to even out to where it makes sense that you want to play the objective, because not enough people, and at least my opinion, are not playing the objective in Haunted Mines, just because it's a distraction from the lanes, and so much damage can happen in the lanes while you're underneath.
And Josh, what do you think?
I think it will. I personally have always liked this map a lot. It's one of my favorites. But I think it will help its popularity of people liking it, because as time goes on, you're going to spend less time down in the mine. Granted, that's what the map is, spending it, the mines, go down there. But I play, a lot of times I do Elite Torrent Chieftain anymore, and so I can just teleport out of there anytime I want to and into instant battle, because I always picked Stage Dive as my ultimate. But I think it will help people like it more, just because of the fact that you're not down there as much. You're up in the lanes attacking the bases and stuff like that.
That's interesting. I don't know. For me, I think, like I said, I think it'll be. I wasn't a big fan of Cursed Hollow because I find that, and I think I said this either last week or the week before, that whoever gets that first tribute just runs rampant. Where if you get the first golem, the strongest golem, you're not automatically going to win that game. I think Cursed Hollow kind of needs a little more balancing before the Haunted Mines needed it. But that's my opinion.
I mean, I can see that definitely. I mean, once you get past the actual contesting tributes and you actually get the 3, a lot of people have been talking about the snowball effect. You can definitely do an increased amount of damage if you just put 5 in one lane during the curse. So I can definitely see that.
So, now before we kind of move on to our discussion topic, I did forget to kind of ask Ben a couple of questions that we normally do for a new host. So we'll kind of have that right now, just so people kind of know Ben a little bit more before we kind of get into the discussion. So Ben, in terms of MOBAs, how much MOBAs have you played before Heroes? I know you're not playing Heroes yet. Were you a fan of the genre before, or is it just now that Blizzard's doing it, you're kind of gung-ho?
I've definitely been around in the genre. A lot of people won't know me. They'll know me by other tags that I've played under, because StaksNPaks has always been my tag, but played in the original Dota, played Dota 2, League of Legends, Heroes of Newerth. Spent a lot of time across all of them. I have my likes and dislikes with all of them, but I've definitely pretty fluid with the genre.
Did you play League of Legends specifically, or was it Dota? My headset went off just a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was League of Legends as well as all the Dotas and Heroes of Newerth. Yeah, I know for me, I've tried out some of the newer ones as well. Have you had a chance to try Infinite Crisis or Smite or any of those? I have not tried Infinite Crisis. I heard it went to open, so I haven't even signed up to try it yet. Smite, it was I watched a lot of gameplay and had a chance to get into the closed beta. I decided to not, just because for me, a MOBA is the isometric view. It's not third person, so it didn't really turn on much for me. I tried a little bit of Strife and definitely didn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah, especially since I've been playing Heroes. I was playing Smite, and I never went back to Smite once I started playing Heroes. I think it's because I've never found a hero I didn't like yet. And Smite, there were plenty of gods I didn't like playing.
Yep.
Now, in terms of the heroes in the game, who are you most excited to kind of get your hands on?
Definitely want to play Muradin. Definitely want to play Witch Doctor. Kind of want to play around with Uther and Arthas just to do it a little bit. And we've never seen anything about him only other than a picture, but I have the feeling he's going to be totally baller, and that's Cho'Gall. I know the dude's going to be a baller when he gets into the game.
Yeah, it's just I'm excited to see all the different Cho'Galls, and Chen I'm still excited about. I haven't got my hands on him, and he's everywhere in terms of the website, the game. You look, and he's the first one who's looking right at you on that main screen. I'm surprised they didn't have him in so early.
Maybe at PAX East.
Maybe, and then you guys will be hearing it because you'll no matter where you are, you'll hear me yell out in just straight elation of enjoyment.
Can I ask Ben a question?
Certainly.
Since you played the other MOBAs, what about Heroes makes you most excited about playing Heroes besides the fact that it's Blizzard and there's all those Blizzard characters in it? What gameplay aspect are you excited about with this game?
Mainly 2 points combined. Number 1, the map objectives, and number 2, the team fighting. I love the whole team fighting aspect of a MOBA, and combining synergies to make a team fight work with initiating and wrapping up with supports. And it's just my opinion. The reason I've stepped away from League of Legends a little while ago, just because the game to me got wrapped too much around the current meta. It's you have to have a solo top lane, you have to have a jungler, AD and a support bottom lane, and then an AP mage mid lane most cases. And everybody, in my opinion, kind of thinks very singular on that level. and you have to follow that. If you try to come outside the box with a new strategy, everybody kind of bashes you for it and doesn't want to do it, and they automatically like leave the game. With heroes, you don't really have that, at least not right now, and I don't see that happening for a long time, just because it's based around the map objectives and it's based around actually fighting together as a team. And I personally am looking forward to not having to CS and get in there and worry about items. All we got to do is focus as a team and work together and play the objective, and that's what I love.
And one of the big things, like you said, in terms of that is the meta. It's so ingrained in, 2 bottom, 1 mid, 1 jungle, 1 top. In League of Legends, you don't really have that option, at least right now, to do that, because you actually pick who you want to be before you go into the game. So you can't have that in mind. You have to basically on the fly throw people where they would go and where the best group is depending on the map, because considering there are multiple maps, the meta is going to be different for each map, so you can't even prepare if you're in a group setting either. Like, if the 3 of us went in with 2 other people, we'll be like, okay, we'll make sure we have everything covered, but it's going to change where we're going to go once it starts, because objectives, just are in different areas. You're not going to put, and we have him as our hero spotlight today. You're not going to put Tychus in the top at Booty Bay. Booty Bay, man, we're over
Booty Bay.
Blackheart's Bay, because that attack speed of his lets him burn down those chests quicker than pretty much anyone else. So if you have him, you're gonna put him there. But he's not always gonna be like a bottom laner, stuff like that. It kind of really changes things up.
Yeah, that was that aspect. It was someone I was playing with. His main complaint about it is that since you pick blindly going into the team when you're playing, solo, not with everybody, you can have 2 support and like 3 assassins, and it's like, doesn't add that extra, the classes needed, I guess you can say, like you were saying there.
But
where that's a possibility where you can have, 2 supports and like 3 assassins on your team.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like you can make it work. There's certain things, like if you're all melee and then the enemy ends up to be all ranged, you really run into big issues there. That's the one issue I don't like. And I feel like I've read somewhere, or they just had it on the forums, that they're working on their matchmaking system in order for stuff like that to not happen. And you're gonna, when more people are in the alpha, when it turns into a beta and then eventually an open beta, you're gonna have more people playing, which means you're gonna be able to make better matchmaking just because there's more options out there.
Yep. I definitely, once we get into the further stages, I mean, as everybody's talked about a lot, how for it being a technical alpha, it is so incredibly polished for the most part. I mean, there's not as many bugs. It looks amazing, plays amazing. So as we get into the later stages of beta and we get maybe draft mode and stuff like that, it's definitely going to have a more centered feel around our champion selection, and then that champion selection alone will go into the game and kind of slowly start to dictate how we're playing our lanes a little bit.
Oh, definitely, sure. So yeah, let's kind of move on to our discussion topic of the week. Unfortunately, I didn't really get any emails, so anyone in the chat room, if you have any views on this, just shout it out. We'll kind of bring it up for you. Basically, I call it, what do you guys think of non-hero heroes? People like, Brightwing, the fairy dragon, and really, Sergeant Hammer, the siege tank. How do you guys feel that, when Blizzard is spending time on these kind of nameless heroes instead of kind of like the heroes we're expecting, Cho'Gall and Chen Stormstout? Josh, what do you think of that?
I'm perfectly okay with it. I mean, Sergeant Hammer, when I saw him,
Her.
Her. When I saw her, I didn't even think of it being, a known hero. I was just like, oh, that's so awesome. I hate siege tanks in StarCraft 2, but you get to play as one. That's pretty awesome. So I personally like it. I think it's cool. And like that fairy one you said, what was his name? Brightwing. That seems like it'd be a very interesting class to play. So I mean, I'm all for them bringing anything from any of their IPs into this game, any character, except for Decker King, because he would suck.
Wow, I actually like the idea of Deckard King. Ben, what are your thoughts?
And I agree with Josh on this one, except for the whole Deckard Cain piece. I definitely think that it's really good. So we're going to take all these people and all these units from all these games that we've played for a couple decades now, and we're going to be able to see more of them. And I think they should sprinkle it in back and forth. Maybe like, this is just me spitballing here, like an SCV or something like a Hydralisk, and then let's put in a big champion like a Nubarak, which we did see in that gameplay trailer where it looked like he was an initiator, and kind of spread him out a little bit so that way we see these awesome new units coming out that we know nothing about, and then here comes this champion that we're more familiar with, that we're more excited more excited for to play, and so on.
See, I'm gonna be exact opposite of both of you.
Oh,
See,
come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Adam.
I'm not saying Sergeant Hammer isn't a well put together hero in any way. I've played her and I've had a lot of fun, but I would love to see them take the time first to get some of the bigger names into this game, because that's why I'm playing this game. I'm not playing this game to be a siege tank, and which I can just go and do in StarCraft, or be a fairy dragon who really has nothing to do with the lore of either of the worlds. I'm there to play the big names. A Nubarak isn't in there yet, like you said. I want to play Duriel, Malthael, all of them before I start playing random peon number 1. We'll call him Chuck.
Chuck.
It's something that I almost say it takes away from that heroic feeling. It's like, oh, it's just a siege tank operator. She got caught when they were trying to take Jim Raynor over, and for some reason she was too close to Raynor, and she just happened to end up in the Nexus.
Well,
and,
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, if they release a lot of the big name characters now, then when they come out later, it's just going to be the no name characters, and then it would just slowly go downhill because of the characters you're not excited for, of the new characters coming out anymore. So if they spread out, Thrall's not out yet, he's going to be a big, huge deal when he does come out. So whenever they do that, it's just to spice up the lifespan of the game, in my opinion. Like the lifespan will last longer if they spread them out, because people are like, oh, Thrall's coming out in a couple weeks, I'm going to get back into that game and start playing again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's funny because by big deal, all I can think of, oh, they're putting out another 10,000 gold hero out there.
I'll buy it.
You'll buy it. Yeah, I think. Yeah. What are you up to? Yeah, did you hit the 325 mark yet?
No, I think I'm just under 100.
Just under 100.
Yeah.
And some great points are being made in our chat room. So I think the biggest point that they've made is that SC2 and Diablo have a lot less named characters out there. So in order to kind of keep that balance amongst the three, they have to, give them the unnamed ones. That being said, I don't know, Diablo has a ton of named characters that they haven't done. I mean, there's all seven demons and all 5 angels and Deckard Cain out there still.
Well, we already know from what we saw the screenshots of Blizzard that the Butcher and the Skeleton King are coming.
Oh, Skeleton King's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone brings up a good point in the chat room. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Sahara Drak, I'm not even going to try. Says, watching a couple years, Sergeant Hammer will be a beloved name. That brings a good point to the fact that introducing these characters, they can make new lore and books around them. For, if Sergeant Hammer gets played a lot and people love her, they can start making, milking that with books and, storylines and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So in Legacy of the Void, where all of a sudden there's going to be a Sergeant Hammer hero unit that shows up.
I guarantee it, they probably will.
I see it happening by far.
Jim Raynor's got himself a new lady.
Woo! Oh, Raynor, such a ladies' man.
I don't know, Kerrigan's going to be a little pissed.
Oh, that's what you want. You want an angry Kerrigan. She does a lot more when she's angry. You don't want the Queen of Blades to be all lovey-dovey and happy. That'd just be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you guys have any kind of final thoughts about that? Anything else you want to point out before we move on?
No, there was something, and then I saw that in the chat room, and it totally pushed it out of my head, and I forgot.
It totally pushed it out. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, I think in the end, like, even though I know I want to see these big name heroes, in the end, they're going to put out whatever's best for gameplay. And if they can't find a big name hero to fit a role that they kind of feel is missing, you know they're going to go with it. What I think isn't going to change their minds on who they put out. And I'll still play them. I mean, I still will.
Yep. I was going to say, I remember what I was going to say. This talking about characters that can add to the game. A Viking from StarCraft 2, where it can land on the ground and just attack, and then it can get up and fly over terrain. Like,
Falstad?
Falstad, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what's cool about bringing in these units that are not named characters.
Be like Colonel Screwdriver.
That's an awesome name.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to move on to our Hero Spotlight of the Week.
This is the Hero Spotlight.
And this week we're going to take a short hiatus from our Blood Elf trilogy because David's not here and he had the trilogy planned out. So we're going to actually jump over and do Tychus Finlay today. He is a notorious outlaw, as per the name. And, you know, I'm just going to kind of point people in the direction of where to find him in terms of lore. I'm honestly, I haven't read the books that he kind of meets Raynor in, but I definitely have been told that they're kind of they're a good read. And right now, for some reason, I'm blanking out on the book name, even though I had it written down about 5 minutes ago.
I even have the book, and I can't remember.
You can't even remember. But, I mean, basically, it's a book where you see that he, you know, kind of meets up with Raynor. It's Heaven's Devils is kind of the group. And then if you
I think that's the name of the book.
Oh, is it the name of the book, too? Maybe I was just...
Or at least one of the books.
Yeah, because I was thinking that was the name of the book, and I'm like, nah, that's the name of the group that they're in, so it kind of messed me up in the head a little bit. And then you can also see him in StarCraft True Wings of Liberty, and I'm not going to give away, you know, kind of what he does there, because it's pretty important to the story, I feel like. You know, he has some missions on his own. But in Heroes of the Storm, he is an assassin class, and one of his primary trait, and, you know, you definitely have to know how to kind of work this in timing-wise, is his minigun. Basically, it's before he attacks, he has to wind up the minigun briefly, and then once it winds up, he really attacks a lot faster than other heroes. And this really kind of, in a team fight, you have to know when you're going to be able to attack first, or when you need to wait for your team, because if you're winding up, they might be able to kill you before you can even get an attack off.
Yep.
So you really need to plan it ahead. Josh, you're right.
Sorry. I was reading the lore because Tychus is an awesome character. I like his lore. But besides the minigun, he has Overkill, where you focus Tychus's minigun on the target and you deal damage over 5 seconds. Other targets in the cone take less damage but can be retargeted while casting.
Something with him is the frag grenade. Tychus lobs a grenade that explodes on impact, pushing enemies away from the epicenter. Something that can really make or break the champion as far as team fights are concerned, with initiating and so on.
And then you have Run and Gun, where you charge forward and instantly wind up Tychus's minigun.
Now, right now, just like every other hero, he has two options. One is the Draken laser drill. It's basically just a drill that gets put on the ground, and damage gets done per second while it's active. It's actually really good for trying to hold objectives, or, for example, in the Cursed Hollow, you can put it down at the I keep trying to call them blessings, but the the tributes, and then, you know, you kind of, nobody wants to get too close to the tribute, kind of zone them out. He also is able to commandeer an Odin. Now, what's really cool is this kind of like just completely puts him into like different set of abilities. So this is kind of, I think, the more difficult of the two heroics, because you have to know, you know, the abilities when it changes as well, because you need to know how to work both sides of him. Basically, just takes control of a pilot of the Odin, gaining a second health pool. So when you kill the Odin, you still have your full health pool for for Tychus, and then you have reduced crowd control, and you get a couple new abilities. Why don't you kind of start off with the abilities, Ben?
First one's Annihilate. Tychus fires the Odin's cannons in a straight line, dealing damage to everyone in its path. Pretty straightforward, just aim shot, and people can dodge it or jump in and out and so on.
And then he also has the Ragnarok missile. I think I pronounced that right. And Tychus launches missiles at everything in the radius around him.
And lastly, Nuclear Blast. Tychus calls down a nuke at a target location. I mean, why not, right? Who doesn't like nukes?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a StarCraft-inspired game or character if there wasn't a nuclear strike detected. So, now in terms of strategy for him, I know one of the big strategies that we found playing was he works really well with Tyrande. Like, really well, because his attack speed is so quick that when she marks somebody and he's attacking, he gains life for both, especially if you use the vampiric talent for when he's attacking and the attacking the correct target. So if there is a Tyrande on your team and you're Tychus, you want to be with her. On top of that, she's able to stun, which helps him, gives him a second to wind up his minigun if you don't have your running gun ready. So that's really something I've seen work out really well. Actually, I was playing Tyrande, and Fimless, friend of the show over from Hotscast, he was playing Tychus, and it worked out like superbly. So, Dev, have you seen any like strats to go with Tychus, Josh, while you were playing?
Something I like to do is use his frag grenades, because it pushes the enemies in the opposite direction that they land on. So if you can get close enough and you can throw it behind them, it pushes them towards you and your teammates if they're there. So it kind of captures them there, and then you can minigun them down and just DPS them down. So using the frag grenades at the right moment, I think with him is very, very key to trap the enemies at. Just because you can use it, you can push them away and they can get away, or you can push them towards you if you can get up close enough. So frag grenades is definitely a good strategic thing you can use with them.
Yeah, it's really cool that it has both a offensive and defensive capability with the frag grenades. If you're trying to run, you can knock them back. If you're trying to get them closer, you can knock them forward.
Yep.
Ben, kind of watching streams, have you seen any like really cool strategies with him?
This kind of piggybacks a little bit off what Josh said. A lot of his plays based off that frag grenade. Like, I've seen a ton of people play him, and they are really, really impatient with the frag grenade. They're throwing it either too early, too late. They're not catching the people appropriately. But when I am seeing it, I saw one where he threw the frag grenade, caught I don't remember what the champion was. I don't know if it was a Nova or who it was. And they pushed them towards the team. Murden instantly jumps in on top of him, and a Diablo grabbed him and kicked him out of back into their turrets. Done. Game over. There's no coming back from that. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh no, yeah. There's a lot of like cool little synergies when you can really start manipulating where your enemies are in the battlefield, and that's just really, really helpful. It's a lot like if anyone played League of Legends, Gragas's barrel, his ultimate. Is that his ultimate where it kind of kicks people around?
Yep, that is his ultimate. Yep.
So it's nice to, for those, if that's the kind of the type of gameplay you like. Tychus does play a little bit like Gragas because because of that. One thing that Tychus actually has that other assassins don't is, I believe it's in his first set of talents, is he can actually take more health. So he can do the Path of the Warrior, where most assassins either get Path of the Wizard for more mana, or Path of the Assassin for more damage. He actually works out to be a little bit more of a tanky assassin than, say, a Nova would be.
Okay.
Which is interesting. I haven't seen too many builds with him that way, but I'm sure that there's people out there that are messing around with that, maybe able to get him into combat a little bit more and a little more survivability than maybe your average assassin. I haven't played a lot, but that's what I kind of see from him.
Put him with an Uther and they'll both walk away.
Yes. Now, in terms of skins, there's one skin out there for him. It's the Infested skin. I think it's a pretty cool looking skin. I kind of want to see what else they're gonna do with him. You know, like take him out of his armor or something like that. It would be just fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the prison form when he's got his prison pants on and just the cigar. Maybe him running around with the minigun like that wouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super excited to see some more skins kind of come out, actually, for all the heroes, because the ones that we've seen, I think, are so great.
I still, I don't know if it would fit with him or Rainer best, but I think they need to do the Torn Marine still. Make a skin for that. You remember the Torn Marine?
Yes, so
They need
good.
to, they can make him that or Rainer or both, but that's one I'm hoping for one of those two guys. I know we're talking about Tychus, but I mean, they could fit in his armor.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't the Torn Marine. That was another April Fool's joke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it all leads back to the April Fool's joke in the end. I think that pretty much wraps it up for kind of our Tychus talk. If anyone wants, after the show, I'm going to be streaming a little bit. If he's available, I will definitely play him for a little bit if you guys kind of want to, see how he goes.
And I would also suggest, if you are a fan of StarCraft at all a little bit, definitely read those books that we talked about. They are insanely good.
Yeah, you really get to know Raynor pretty well, like his early days.
Yeah.
I've kind of read the beginning chapter. You get the free chapter.
Yeah.
Just haven't had a chance to read the whole thing. Okay, and we're going to move on. And we haven't done this in a couple of weeks where we kind of have this like a skin theme discussion. So I figure we would kind of bring it back. We have a little bit late on the news this week. So basically this week we're going to talk about taking heroes that aren't in Azeroth and moving them into it. So Josh, what hero would you like to see get moved into kind of an Azerothian skin?
Well, they already kind of did Kerrigan, because she kind of looks like the succubus in that one skin. Trying to think, who would be awesome in another skin like that? I mean, they could do Diablo, kind of looking like maybe a boss from a raid. I was trying to think of what boss would fit him perfectly.
Turn him into is it Lord Jaraxxus or something along those lines?
Yeah, they could do that. They can even kind of make him Ragnaros looking without, just not without the legs. But I would like to see Diablo terrorize Azeroth.
I wouldn't. Ben, any kind of skin ideas you have for any of the heroes out there?
I'd kind of like to see Tassadar pulled over a little bit, maybe. And a lot of his stuff right now is he's got the Protoss armor and he's got the mechanized armor, which is more StarCraft 2-ish. Definitely something where he's kind of got more shrouds and wraps and stuff on him. Trying to think of an exact environment to place him, but definitely something a little bit desert themed, maybe.
The first thing that kind of came to my mind, and oddly enough, it's for Sergeant Hammer, who I basically dogged earlier, is I want to see a Demolitioner. Is that what it's called? The Demolitioner from what the goblins make. Basically, they're tanks.
Yeah.
From the Galacross fight and all sorts all over the place in Orgrimmar. That I think would look really cool with like a female goblin who works inside of it, or
Yep.
They have I don't even know what they're called, but basically the dwarven tanks as well.
Yeah.
That we've seen and have, because I already thought that they made Sergeant Hammer look pretty dwarvish as it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Something else, maybe like Abathar as a something from Anchorage or something.
That I can definitely see. Kind of like a undead spider thing. What do they actually call it? I know they're the Nerubians, but they're supposed to be like undead beetles and insects and spiders, right?
Yeah, I just can't. I'm trying
Are you
to think
looking for
of
like
what
the
they're called.
overhead term, like the Karaji, or?
Yeah. Trying to remember. But did we freeze
Can't
out?
remember. What?
I was going to say Ben, I think, froze up.
Oh.
So I think it's a little bit shorter of a show than usual, but there wasn't too much news. So do you guys have anything else you want to talk about today before we kind of wrap this up?
I not really. I mean, it's not really related to Heroes of the Storm, but if you haven't picked up Reaper of Souls, pick it up. It's great.
This is true. I would love to.
Blizzard, so I guess it matters.
Yep.
Would love to actually get in and play myself. So hopefully that happens sooner rather than later. But no, definitely Reaper Souls. If you can't play Heroes, definitely play some Reaper Souls. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
that brings another point. Real quick, Crusader class in Heroes. How great would that be?
Mm-hmm. I've already said that I can see playing my Crusader in Heroes. Because I've done what I call the Avengers build, where he throws a hammer that has lightning attached to it. He throws his shield, just like Captain America. And then I have them all. Well, I have a couple different ones, but I have one where he's all Iron Man'd out in that kind of the Iron Man red.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like a mix of like a hodgepodge of all the Avengers that are out there.
Something I remember, I think it's from one of the first Q&As they did. They were talking about interacting with the other teams are making new heroes and stuff like that, and he kept talking about when they were about the Crusader. Like he's like, for instance, we want to draw the Crusader, blah blah blah, and the guy's like, if Crusader hasn't been announced.
Yep.
So it's like it seems like they're working on getting the Crusader out there. I'm sure they are though, because that's going to be such an amazing class to play in Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And so while we're wrapping it up, I just want to kind of make one announcement. I haven't really talked to anybody about it. Next Friday, we won't be having a show because I will not be anywhere near my computer. I'm going to be over at PAX East. What I'm going to try and do, if we can, and I'll tweet this out, is I'm going to try and put together a show on Sunday because I really want to be able to, put a show together with any information that they have there. So kind of be on the lookout on our Twitter at the Nexus Podcast for any change in the recording of the show next week. Because I know for sure that I will not be eligible to be here on Friday. And with all the stuff that they're going to be announcing, we want to kind of get it out there as quick as possible. Ben, why don't you let everybody know how they can get a hold of you, where they can follow you on Twitter, stuff like that, if they ever want to ask you any questions.
I am on Twitter. It's just at StaksNPaks. It's StaksNPaks. You hit me up on there. Ask me any questions. I'll reply back. I don't tweet a whole lot, but I'm always checking it daily and reading what everybody else has to say. It's for the most part, you can get a hold of me on there, and then once you got a hold of me on there, you can get a hold of me anywhere else, as well as on Battle.net and anywhere if you want to play some games or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, how about you? What can people do to see you?
They can visit me on the corner of Main and 5th. Wait, no, that's the other thing. No, I'm on at Pakawan_AIE on Twitter. It's PAKKUAN_AIE. Think about changing that though to something easier to say and easy to remember. But yeah, follow me on there. I do have another podcast. We've been in hiatus for a couple of weeks now. The Lifestyle Geek. You can find us at lifestyle_geek on Twitter. Nothing really updated has been up there lately, but we've been talking about starting it back up again here soon.
Mm-hmm. And for me, you can reach me at Geek of Random. The show, like I said earlier, is at the Nexus Podcast. Please send all your questions to show@heroesofTheNexus.com. We'd love to have a nice little segment at the end of the show where we have questions. If you have questions about specific heroes, how we like them. Now that we've kind of gone through a lot of them in terms of the Hero Spotlight, we're not going to loop back too much. I think eventually once we get through all the heroes, we'll start kind of talking strategies and team-ups. But if there's something that you have specific questions about, please let us know. You can find us all over the internet: Twitch, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, the Windows Marketplace. And just come and listen. If you listen to the podcast, come and join us. Normally we record on Fridays at 10 Eastern Time at twitch.tv/Heroes of the Nexus. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Ben again for showing up, and Josh for showing up too. It's a great time. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you guys probably in a little bit over a week. Goodbye.
Take care, everybody.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, you can stop the recording.
And stopped.
Done.
That was fun.
Okay. Of
That's
course
good.
it's fun.
Always fun. It's podcasting.
It's podcasting. Dave. Yeah, Dave had a couple pina coladas.
Come on, Dave. You're drunk. Give me your keys. You're drunk.
Thank you, Omega. Sorry. So I'm going to probably take about a 5-10 minute break and come back and do some streaming of Heroes of the Storm. I don't know if anybody else wants to join me. Anybody that's out there, I will be there.
I'll be on. I know Garrett and Dills was asking me if I wanted to play with them, so I might play video games with them. I don't know.
You should be like, I know this guy. He plays an awesome Nova.
An awesome Nova?
Actually,
A Chevy Nova?
a Chevy
So
Nova.
yeah.
That's what I call my build, the Chevy Nova.
Nice.
It's the one where I break everybody else down by hitting them. So funny. Extremely, but it was... I'm just reading the chat room. It's funny.
Reading the chat room.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Dave's-
definitely not...
Yeah,
yeah, I don't...
not
I'm
even
so
close,
bad at-
DJ.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure DJ has been here for 19 episodes, and Ben, you've been what? Like at least 18, 17, right?
All of them. The only one I might have missed was the very first episode.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to remember. I'm trying to remember because I know the first episode we had like 2 people, and I remember Nags, and Nags never shows up anymore, but I think he's been busy with work.
What kind of person gets too busy for work?
The other thing he said was when he only shows up when Rem's here. I think that's a little creepy. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring the stream down. I will be back in, like I said, about 10 minutes to play. Have a great night. I'll talk to you guys later.
Take care, everybody.